Goeiemorgen, good morning.
Môre.
Oei, Janne. Looks like some people slept with but enjoyed this last night. If I listened to
I
that.
was still tired when he woke me up.
There's I'm struggling with English this morning already. And it's only Thursday. So
Let's see how far we
good
get.
morning, everybody out there.
Good morning. Morning, Vanita.
Good morning, Anita. Good morning, everybody else that's listening, watching us all over the world. Can I quickly say something? I know our topic this morning is what would we have done differently if we have immigrated now? This comes from a few questions that people have asked me in the past, I would say 2 days. But you've watched the game?
Which one?
The one which t-shirts we were supposed to wear this morning. So Werner, sorry about that. We haven't got the t-shirts. You can go and put yours on and bring mine with, and I'll go and put it on. Can you believe that? That's stuff like that. Jeez. Remember the caps as well. Yeah, that is. We've been asked this morning to wear specific t-shirts, but this morning just sped by in a haze of what we're going to talk about. Blah blah blah. I've totally forgot about it. I want to say something about the game. The French won the All Blacks, but the French didn't stand out for me as a World Cup winning team. I don't give a shit who they played against, to be quite frank. They didn't play that good. The All Blacks played that bad that the French actually looked good, to be quite frank. And then we had the Springbok game where a lot of people were very glad that they won, probably good that they did win. They looked like a different team that played, not the team that played against the All Blacks that day. They weren't also that, I couldn't see that this was the World Cup winning team. Sorry about if you're a Springbok supporter or All Black supporter and me taking them down a bit this morning, but it's not being anything personal against you. I just don't think these guys did their best, to be quite frank. The All Blacks didn't perform at all. If they play that way, they'll probably be beaten by Namibia as well. If Namibia can just last longer than 40 minutes. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know where this World Cup's going to go. There's no open winners at this current stage. So, yeah. All right, the wife has brought me a t-shirt to wear.
Ta-da!
I cannot take your hand.
I totally forgot about it. It would have taken me 10 minutes less to dress if I just remembered about the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got some caps too, but I'm not going to mess up my hair this morning. Beautiful. I will forever be a book. Yeah, not so much.
No, I'm an All Black supporter, so that's why I've got an All Black proudly on the, what is it, the left.
You've got an All Black.
The left breast, naturally. The Springboks would have had to pay me to wear their shirt this morning, so I know they don't have money. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the current Rugby World Cup. You put my hand there and get this thing.
It's very dark now all of a sudden.
Yeah, probably.
No, in here.
I thought it's an All Black sign that came to play.
As soon as you walked in, it was like, ugh.
Okay, put that light on there at the back if you can. No, there's one there. You can try that one as well. We've got different light setups here.
Okay.
She doesn't always know where's what. So
okay, let's carry on.
All right. So the big question was this week that people asked me what would I have done different. People have asked me how do they get to New Zealand if they don't have any money, and that all comes back to the thing: what would you have done differently? In my mind, I was just thinking about the fact that we had vehicles that was quite new.
Yes.
I lost probably about 250,000 rand just that I had to pay in for those vehicles just to be square with the banks, because the banks are a rip-off in South Africa. Really, banks are a rip-off. Most of these vehicles were about 2 years old, 2.5 years old, and I couldn't even get nearly what I owed the bank with them. So I had to pay that money, and that was hard money out of my pocket that could have come to New Zealand. So that's the one thing I want to say. And I know you can't really drive a very old vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. How can you actually get that right? Because
I would say drive cheaper cars.
Yeah, but you never know when you're going to immigrate.
No, that is like that. But you got to have a plan. I think Well, we had a plan, but sometimes people just get the job when they come, and I do understand that that's a bit of a catch-22 because they didn't plan. There's no plan. There's no savings. There's nothing. But if you decide, and I mean, if you make that decision, you are going to emigrate, and that is your decision, and now you've got to put timelines in. When am I going to do it? How am I going to get here? How much money would I need?
Or otherwise, maybe just try to pay your car off as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Or rather than buying the deluxe version, buy the cheaper version, buy the 1300.
Yeah, so if it's in your mind that you may immigrate in the near future, then maybe.
Especially in the next 2 years. I mean, buy something small and something that will easily sell again. And that was the one thing that I would have done different. Is there anything that pops up in your mind this morning?
No, carry on. I'll still think.
It's still a bit early for her to pop anything into that mind.
Useless this morning.
Somebody just saying the brain is struck on island time. It is an island time. So let's just go back to the shirts. The shirts was given to us by Werner Hanekom. And I should have put his details in here so that I can run a small ad for him. But I'll do that next week. He's from KC Apparel in Tauranga. So if you want shirts like this, he's going to try and make them for people with their businesses.
Yeah. So your business logo can be on the one side, and the
team that
you support will be on the left side. Yeah.
So even if you support something like Namibia, France, or something else, which is totally different than what we have,
any country
able to do that. Yeah.
So what else would you have done different? I think there are a few things that I probably wouldn't have put in the container, things that still in
that's
boxes.
An interesting one. Like what?
Books.
Have some more.
We brought so many books, and we still have 2 or 3 boxes I see there in the garage that's full of books.
Okay, I've got space so I can unpack them.
No, we don't need to unpack them. We can just give
books
them away. I've got no idea, but if we haven't missed them in 6 years, then we won't.
Yeah, well, the thing is, a book is different. You think differently about a book than I do, for instance. René Klaasen asking the price. René, I don't know what the price is. We'll ask Werner to give us some comments on this. So
I know.
The container was something that I think we needed to do. We brought a lot of I would say smaller stuff as well, stuff that we still use.
I even brought cutlery and stuff, and I really think that's not necessary. Okay. I brought a whole plastic container full of our knives and forks and I don't know what else.
We used it in the beginning.
We probably did, but that is really something that's not expensive in New Zealand. You can buy at Kmart, you can buy all your cutlery and stuff for very cheap.
But the point is, if we are bringing a container, that small plastic container didn't cost that much. Probably cost R1 or something like that. Something that we're still using from South Africa all the time. The computer we're talking on now, the plug that goes into the wall, is still a South African plug with a South African extension at the bottom. So, I don't know why I haven't changed that at all.
I don't know. It's been 6 years. The first thing one of the first things that we did when we came is we changed all the.
Yeah, and this is a New Zealand bought computer. So it did come with its own. I just think I had a shortage of plugs or something. I don't know. I've got the sound system here also comes from South Africa, and that plug cannot change.
Okay.
So that was something that I think was a good deal. What I would have loved to do, or would have loved to have done, in retrospect, is to save more money. To be quite frank, once you reach New Zealand, you just fly. The dollars fly. You cannot have enough money, except if you're a millionaire or something like that. You cannot have enough money for when you arrive. It's just one of those things. Money just flies out. Yeah,
we always say whatever your budget is, you can triple that.
Yeah.
Because it just goes.
And we could have easily done that.
I don't think maybe we thought that we had enough.
Yeah. Well, the way that I worked it out, it was.
Yeah, well, it never works. It's never like you think it is.
I mean, we never went hungry.
No.
And we were very much on par. There was no movement around that money. So yeah.
So yes, try and save a little bit more.
Try and save a little bit more. So that's the important thing. And what else would we have done differently?
One thing that I'm really glad we did is bring a lot of our stuff,
Oh,
bring a lot of our sentimental stuff, because in the beginning you think this is an adventure. It is an adventure, and I'm just going to leave everything behind. But I can tell you now that you've been here for a while, and you get older and you get more sentimental when you get older. That is true.
Except that I was thinking the other day of stuff that I had in South Africa that I thought, I'm never going to use this again. I could have used quite a few of those things that I sold for damn cheap, really, damn cheap.
So maybe, try to think a little bit more of what's going to happen in the future before you pack your stuff.
And if you come with nothing, remember your budgets need to be bigger. You need to have more money. There's only so much second-hand appliances and stuff going around on the island. Nobody can supply. We don't give out any free stuff anymore.
Then one thing that we did really well, we spend a lot of time to say goodbye to people. But what I see people struggle with now, after they've been here for a while, if you've got some family or whatever in South Africa that you've got a little bit of a problem with, try to sort that out before you get on the plane, because it's really going to haunt you on this side, because you're so far and it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And if there was still something that you needed to sort out, it's probably going to hassle you. It's probably going to work on your nerves a little bit. So try to sort that out before you get on the plane, or just make peace with whatever and leave it like that. Don't come here with grudges and stuff.
And don't try not to come here with regrets. If you really wanted that last piece of biltong, go and eat it. Stuff like that. People tells me they haven't had afval in. I love afval. I haven't had afval in 6 years. I mean, so that's one of my regrets. I should have had more afval down there, but then probably ended up fatter. So
What would we have done differently when we arrived here? Is there anything that we would have done differently?
I made up my mind as to what cars I wanted to buy when I arrived in New Zealand, but I made my mind up basically in 2016, and then we arrived in 2018. And the scene changed in those 2 years, or basically a year and 3/4, changed in total. The vehicle scene changed in total. This is probably the biggest change in New Zealand was the vehicle scene in those 2 years. You went from older cars,
really cheap,
to
not so cheap.
And that's just something that I had to contemplate with. And now suddenly I was facing a total different market, which I wasn't ready for. I still don't think we've done badly. We haven't lost on any vehicle we've bought or sold in New Zealand. And that's always interesting. I sold all the vehicles that I have bought by 8,000 or 2,000, either more or less than what I bought them for. So
So I don't think you need to buy a really expensive car when you get here.
Especially for a startup. And the smaller the better. I do drive the big, massive Nissan Patrol, but I have bought myself a smaller Nissan Note that can get easily here into parking spaces. So that was part of my reasoning why I bought
and it's not only that. Remember that the fuel here is really expensive.
That's more expensive in South Africa, by the way.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. But I mean, you don't want to cut off your neck just
I fully agree. But and most of your time, if you are going to travel in a town, you are going to do short distances. So get a vehicle that's cheap in town, not the most expensive one in town. So your long distance driving, especially in New Zealand, is limited to probably mostly 300 kilometers a day if you really go far. And then you also don't travel at speed. You don't need a vehicle that can do 200 kilometers an hour. I promise you will never reach 200 kilometers an hour in New Zealand. Not due to the police, but due to the road.
Then one thing that I probably would have done differently. Now, my things that I would have done differently is more to do with me and emotionally and all that. I would probably give myself more time to just find myself before I tried to reach out and make friends and stuff. Because in the end, if you're in a hurry to make friends, you're probably going to end up picking the wrong friends or
but
getting hurt or whatever.
If you don't try, how would you know?
No, you will. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think I should have. I thought, oh my word, I have to make friends. I have to make friends, and it's not really.
No.
You don't need to do that. Just find yourself and find your feet, and give yourself a little bit more time to just see how you adjust before you rush into friendships.
Yeah, and to the husbands, it's working out there. Give the wives at home a chance just to settle in with the kids. Except that it's a new adventure for them. It's also they're totally out of their debt. Debt, not debt. They're totally out of their debt, and they need to adapt to the surroundings and the way stuff are done. And Vanita say it's okay to be alone sometimes, Mariska.
It's actually good. It's actually good.
And sometimes, and even myself, sometimes I just need to get into the bush. All alone. You just drive. Don't hear
but
anything.
if you knew a new immigrant, then at some stage I was thinking, oh my word, am I never going to make friends? And it's actually okay. I didn't need to rush into it like that.
I mean, if you think about where we are today versus where we have been 6 years ago, and we've been here for 6 years now, for the people who don't know, the quality of friends we have now is, I would say, I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
what else would you have done differently?
I don't know, if there's somebody out there that has any thoughts of what they would have done differently, please let us know. Pop your comment down on the comment section and see what's happening down there. For me, I think I was thinking about a lot of stuff that we actually brought with that we sold.
That's what I said. Yeah,
no, especially stuff like bicycles. We bought ourselves 2 bicycles in South Africa for whatever reason.
I think when you're thinking of immigrating, you've got this thing in your, I don't know, it's like a
it's called Lala World.
Yes, in your head about what life's going to be, and it probably is not going to be like that.
And that's most probably not going to be like that.
So yes, we did our homework really good. We actually did, but I think we could have done a little bit more homework, but probably around the town that you're going to and just what the setup is like, and I don't know, maybe just do a little bit more homework about where you're going to live. To give you a better idea of.
Okay, that's an interesting one coming through. Renee Klaas is saying would have brought more things from South Africa, as we brought almost nothing. So I would say half a container. Okay, so half a container. The container prices may be a hiccup for some people, but you also got to weigh up the price of what your stuff is worth in South Africa. That is what made me decide to bring a container. I just took my lounge suite that we sold the other day for $750. I've just bought it for 35,000 rand, and I knew I could never get even half the price back of that thing, and it stood here for another 6 years, so not too bad.
Yeah, now there are some stuff that you really need to bring in, especially the things that
sentimental
stuff. Don't think. When you're young, you think, oh, well, whatever. But I promise you, when you get older, you get a little bit more sentimental, and then you need that stuff.
And if you go to your parents' house and they offer to give you some stuff, furniture, take it. You will eventually regret it, except if it's ugly.
But if there is something, just take it.
Vanita just saying now, employers are obliged to provide information for settlement in New Zealand, makes it easier for research, schooling, transport, banking, etc. That's interesting. And then if you are listening to us this morning and you have any problems with settling, I'm going to pop up the banner of the website that we have. We've got a banner, or we've got a website. Provide a lot of stuff for people that are moving over to New Zealand. We've got some advertisers on there, people that can help you move stuff, cars, immigration, anything. And then we've got specific areas and what to do in the areas and what to see and so forth. And guys, if you can come to an area that you do not like, do come and then eventually plan your plan from there onwards to the area that you do like. You most probably won't find a job immediately in the area that you like or think is the best in New Zealand. So Yeah. Leonie saying, take nothing, get everything. Once you're actually there, as you need know how big the house are. We came from UAE and brought all our stuff. Well, now we can't fit half in our rent house. It is.
It is true, but still there are some things, especially if it's something that's with a few rands. Then bring it. I won't say you need to bring your don't bring your choreographed couches and stuff, because that's probably not going to fit into the house. The most of the houses are smaller. Yeah, so that is true. So. And then Brian, you are right.
Brian says bring underpants, lots of them. The quality is not so good. Fully agree. Underpants and socks.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of South African socks that are outlasting my New Zealand board socks.
I must say that's the only thing that I buy when I go to South Africa.
I just want to say, Brian, from our side, we know you're in hospital this morning, and we hope you get better soon. The fish are biting this weekend because you're not there. So keep that in mind, mate. Okay.
Yeah, we hope you get better soon.
Anything else popping up there?
I often get asked for advice, helping people who are coming from extreme humble backgrounds. Hairdressers, kitchen people know that they can get a visa. That's really hurdles. Yeah.
I want to say that this is people. There's really people who has never saved any money in South Africa, and then they come here and they haven't saved any money, or not ready to move. That they don't have the finances to move. I spoke to somebody who didn't even have the money for an airplane ticket.
I know people are desperate, but you have to.
You have to plan better, guys. You have to plan better.
Delitha's also saying she finds it more and more that people immigrate, but they have not done their research, especially where the pathway to residence and stuff is concerned. So then you get here and you don't actually know what your future in New Zealand is going to be like.
You're going to leave in 5 years' time.
So make sure that you work with a good
get a good immigration advisor, guys.
Benita's is on here.
And on our website, there's immigration advisors that we do trust and that we would advise people to use. The big thing about this immigration advisors is, and what I found these days is, they just let people come because they're making a buck. I will tell them anything just to get them here. And sadly, it's not often the right thing. So
just do your homework around that. I know that you're desperate to come, but just make sure that you come forever and that you don't need to go back because you didn't do your research well enough.
And the thing is, if you need to go and work somewhere else due to the fact that you can't get a job in South Africa, then I fully understand it, but probably New Zealand is not the right country for you. It's expensive. You are going to use your money. You're not going to be able to save for one day when you can retire. It's probably better to go to Saudi or one of those places. So Vanita's saying she'll do a segment on the new pathway to residence soon. Vanita, next Thursday morning. We'll talk to you about
then
that.
I can sleep in.
No. We'll just wake you up first for it to be, it not to be. So, and what we found, what we would have found different in our immigration journey would probably have been different for other people. So it's not always the same for everybody. So.
Everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
One thing I can say, it's not something that we did, but I know that a lot of people, and probably not so much people from South Africa, they come to New Zealand to work here so that they can earn money to send to the people back home. And you know what? That is probably not going to happen because it is so expensive to live here. So the money that you actually earn, you need to just make way for yourself in New Zealand. So it's going to be very difficult if you think that you're coming here to work so that you can send money back home. It's probably not going to work like that.
Yeah.
If that is what
the Indian community is doing that. But they also they live about 3 families in a house.
I think the main reason why they come is to send money back home. So they don't care what the circumstances they live in is like, and so it's actually sad. It's humble, but it's sad.
Well, we're living in a sad world. It's how we live around that.
So just don't think that you're going to get here. You're going to make tons of money that you can send home. It's not going to
You
work.
are going to
It's
make
not gonna-
tons of money that you got to use because it costs tons of money to live here.
You'll
So-
have to use it just to stay alive.
And a few things I've talked to other people that I think they are thinking today. One of the things that I spoke about, is it this week or last week? I spoke to somebody who was living in accommodation and was extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. That was down in Auckland, very small place, very high price, and they haven't been here for very long. If you come around and you are going to settle in a city, make sure what you can afford, what the price is, and because you sign up for a year, it's a rather bit hectic. You sign up for a year, and once you leave, and before your year, you can even lose your deposit. It's not always the easiest thing to move from one house to a different house. It's not. It's difficult. So get where you want to go, where you want to stay, get that circumstances right. And sometimes travel by bus, those type of things.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to do your homework around the houses that you are looking at.
Yeah.
Because I know when you get here, maybe you come in summer and you don't know what a winter in a house is going to be like. But there are some stuff that you do your research about what a healthy home looks like in New Zealand, and don't settle for less, because otherwise you are really going to struggle.
And there's some agents that'll rip you off without blinking, just like that. Guys, if you've got a story to tell us, if you've got a specific thing that happened to you during immigration, or
you had someone that wanted to share.
Yeah, I will try and contact them. They made contact with us via YouTube, so it's not that easy to get hold of them.
Oh, okay.
Please just send me a PM. I look at all my messages, even in the spam boxes, because I found that Facebook has got spam boxes. So please send us a message. We want to get you on here. We want to share your story with the rest of the world as well. Either being it a warning to people, or even if you feel that this is the best thing that's ever happened to you. Because I feel that this is the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm so glad that we could be in New Zealand, to be quite frank.
Me too.
Even if you're going to sit next to me with a bloody Springbok shirt on.
Yeah, well, I won't say anything about the All Blacks this morning.
I got to say this morning, some people did not wake up to watch the Springbok game, by the way.
No. I knew they were going to win.
No, they're good weather rugby fans.
Okay.
So just somebody saying, thanks for all your hard work and bless you. So bless you this morning as well, my mate, or female mate. What's up?
Mate is mate. Doesn't matter what.
So don't take offense, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, guys, this is us. This is Thursday morning. The rugby starts off again tomorrow, I think. And let's see what happens. It will be interesting to see what happens. I'm still full of hope for a few teams, but I haven't found that one team that still shines. And I think that this could be the next World Cup team. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah. Currently, I'm vouching actually for Namibia. They had a good first 40 minutes there. Just forgot that I had to play another 80 minutes. All right.
Enjoy your day.
That's us
Enjoy
this
the
morning.
weekend.
Enjoy it. See you next week, same time, same place.
Bye.
Bye.